Nothing but motherfucking facts, nigga. Number Facts podcast. So, as like a viewer or somebody watching this, how exactly do you become a high value man?
Okay. So before we talked about establishing the discipline, right?
Right.
And we've already established that you can't fix laziness. So if you enter into this perspective talking about something you want to be but you're lazy, we can't fix you. Like, there's nothing we can do for you. You haven't gotten the basics. You go to college or you go to school or you go to the first grade, you ain't going to the 8th grade. You understand? You ain't got the prerequisites. So once we get the discipline established, and then once we get consistent in the discipline based on what we're able to let go for a higher purpose, what do we do next? How do we make it applicable for a person who's 21, 18, 19, 26, and thus forth? How do you dictate your time? Most people who blame the job that pays them $8 to $12 an hour on how they value their time. How well do you allot your time? What do I mean by that? How well do you plan your time? I just said in the previous video, you get 168 hours a week,
Right.
but you work 40. Let's say you sleep, what is 6 times 7? 42. So that's 100. In total, we got 8 times 7, 6 times 7, that's 42. And then we got another 40 hours of work, that's 82 hours. But we got 168 in a week. What are you doing with the other 88 hours of your week? So what we need to do is plan your time appropriately. So I believe that a well allotted time equals unto a well allotted mind. Because everybody got all these things that they want to do,
Dude's
right?
just dropping these quotes.
Everybody got all these things they want to do, but when do you do them? I don't care if it's an hour a day. I don't care if it's 30 minutes a day. We're talking about measurable success. Because essentially, I don't care who you are, what your name is, where you come from, what your background is. I don't even have to meet you. Give me a spreadsheet of 168 boxes. And each of them in 7 columns is 24 hours. And I get to see when you sleep, and I get to see when you wake up, and I get to see what you do in every hour. And you show me what you do over 7 weeks. I can tell you who you're going to be based on what you do. So essentially, success to me is very predictable. So if I'm going to say that success is predictable, so is failure. So what we need to do going from there, we're young, we're in the process, and we don't have all these toxic memories that people develop whenever they reach the age of twice our age, and then they're trying to have the conversation of being high value.
Right.
So what are you doing? So if you can plan ahead what you're going to do, make a schedule, start every Sunday, dictate what you're going to do for the week. So what is that doing for you? You're building a plan for war, okay? Because ultimately life is going to happen. Things that you didn't plan for are going to happen. But then once those things that you can't plan for happen, then we can adapt. So I plan to do this at this time. This happens. Dang, I got to do this now. But how well you can adapt. So, okay, I plan to do this today, but this happened. I needed to do this. I needed to do this. We ain't talking about I wanted to do this. I needed to do this. So we adapt the schedule. But going forward, people in your life are asking for this very same time. Things are asking for this very same time. Pleasures are asking for this very same time. So you, in your rational mind, have to be able to say, is the thing that's asking for my time more valuable to the thing that I'm using my time to obtain? Then you can say no much easier. Hey man, you want to go out to such and such and go do such and such? Hey bro, no I can't. I'm very busy. I'm tied up. Tied up with what, bro? I thought you was just chilling. Tied up with motherfucking vision. tied up with acquiring what I admire because do what I want to become. And look, here's the whole purpose of it. Here's the whole thing is, man. I think everybody want to be happy.
Right.
Everybody wants happiness. I would agree that as a human, everybody wants to be happy no matter where you come from. But in all of my little pursuits of happiness within my little 25 years, I have come to the belief that happiness is predicated on who you become and what you're able to give from who you become. You can't go pay nobody bills or buy your mama no house if you ain't got no house money outside of yourself.
Right.
So you need to become this individual who has the pockets to go buy your mama a house, if that's what you're gonna do. And when you give your mama a house and she has that smile on her face, how will you feel then? Will it feel better than going out with the guys? Will it feel better than going and just get that girl over there that you can barely take care of?
Damn.
We need to plan our time. And if we can plan our time, we can then hold ourselves more accountable.
Okay. So I feel like the art of planning is very important.
If you don't plan, all right, let's put it in perspective for our culture. If you don't plan to defeat me, you really much plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You fail to plan, you plan to fail.
That's another quote right there. Okay.
So all this spontaneousness needs to go. Like, stop being so spontaneous. Why are we making our life, the most valuable thing we have, our time, making it spontaneous? Why are we leaving it up to chance? We're talking about a movie again. What movie you finna sit here and stay to the end of where he just directly just let things go as they may? Man, what dude on, bro? Why are we watching this? Hey, you ready to just go to the crib?
Yeah, that shit boring. Let's get up out of here. Shit don't make no sense.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And essentially, man, if you become a purpose-driven individual, you're not gonna let your life be left up to chance. And when you leave your life up to chance, you're subject to spontaneous things. So we talked about the unpredictable things that life is coming. So what does planning your time and doing all these disciplined tasks do for you? Essentially, you're preparing. All you're doing with your time is little boxes of things that's preparing you. Preparing you for what? Preparing you for your opportunity. Because success ain't flying around waiting to land on some landing strip of spontaneous. Success is waiting to land on the individual who's prepared to land this 7-ton aircraft. I'm not landing on no cornfield. Most of you guys don't even have fruit, so I'm not landing on no fruit field. I'm sorry, I'm not landing on a field full of weeds. You're gonna mess up my rotors. I ain't gonna be able to take back off. You ain't got no gas stations. I can't fuel up. What does success look like entertaining you? So us as younger males, we gotta start embracing this conversation because a lot of our parents didn't have this conversation with us. And that's where a lot of our generation is failing. People are afraid to make the conversation. They love their parents, but they're afraid to hold their parents accountable and say, hey, that was their generation. They did their work in producing me. Where do you find your work to produce what you're trying to produce? So everybody got this notion of I work hard. Working hard ain't necessarily working 100 hours a week. Working hard is working specific to a specific task. Because when we start talking as men, we set the tone. Nothing in this earth happens outside of men having to say so in it. So why are we blaming everything else? Why are we blaming the species? Why are we blaming bugs? Why are we blaming women? Why are we blaming everything else like we don't set the vibe? And that's the kind of conversation that we need to be having with ourselves. And so for my movie, I want to create the movie of a high-value male in the process of obtaining it. Ready to raise my hand and say I'm not there yet, but I have acquired the process that I believe is going to get me there. You become disciplined, and in your discipline, you let go. Let go of 12-year relationships. It makes it way easier to let go of a 6-year relationship.
Right.
From your discipline, apply that to your time. Get comfortable in being uncomfortable and doing monotonous tasks that you find boring. Word boring shouldn't be in your vocabulary. There's no such thing as boring. There's a such thing as doing things unpurposefully, and that equates to the emotion of boring. Mm-hmm. But in this whole process, what are you fixing when you become disciplined? You're ridding yourself of all the illicit weaknesses that hold you back from your vision.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, all we're looking to do is become strong, because ain't no such thing as a high-value male being weak.
Exactly.
You got a bunch of money, but you weak. Hey, bro, I don't want to be around you.
Right.
How can you be a piece of crap employer with a $100 billion company, but you so much of a piece of crap that you have 0 employees? Oh yeah, bro, you're gonna be in business for a whole 6 months. Somebody who was a very great person, who has a $500 million company, he's gonna thrive for the next 80 years, plus more. He's gonna have a far more greater net worth than your $100 billion company that lasted for 6 months. And I think that the younger that we are, so me being 25, an 18-year-old listening to this has much more greater potential to be far better than me and you.
Right.
But who are we to come onto this earth and rob the next generation? Because if we die before we're able to manifest our end narrative of the movie, we're going to rob the next generation of what they need, and we're going to put them behind. We're going to make them repeat the second grade several times for every year that we didn't do what we needed to do.